All right, folks, better late than never edition of Harmonic Pattern Podcast. Let's get to it. Come on in here. Not a lot going on today, guys. Last week of August, end of the summer. Make use of the time. Really not going on. Really not a lot going on. I'm just trying to catch up with a couple things here today. So let's do a few things. Let's get to first the software. Get your TradingView Harmonic Pattern Collection by sending your username to hpc at sr-analyst.com. Who's in here wants a 30-day package? HPC 30 will get you that 30-day package, 30 days to harmonictrader.com gold and software, and then come to our session. Our session's getting moved. All right, so I was going to do it Monday the 1st, but too many people are going to be away. It's Labor Day. Let's take advantage of this time because that's it. This is going to be the last holiday before the end of the year. So we will move it to the 3rd of September. Same time, 10 a.m. Do our 2026 preview session. Yeah, already 2026. Great to see you guys. What's going on? Awesome. Hey, who wants that? Okay, come on. Hit the likes. Come on in, settle down. Let's get to it. Right. Great to see you. Yeah, the 124 calls are getting wrecked. You know, what about Bitcoin? I mean, we got to get to it because Bitcoin 111K was our retracement. Man, I thought Moon was 123. And how do I look right now? Awesome. Yeah, Jake Wing. Jake Wing, you are the winner of our first HPC 30 giveaway. Jake, you got to hit me up on the Discord, all right? Please make it easy for me. And send me your username, full name, email address, and we'll set you up with everything. I can't say there's a hell of a lot going on in our Discord right now. We're bouncing up 20, down 30, and vice versa. But this is where you get with us. If you want information about next Wednesday, the 3rd, you can hit me up in the Discord too. Basically, we're following up from January, and then we're going to look ahead to 2026. A lot to get, really get under our belt before that all begins. But congratulations, Jake. Hit us up on the Discord. What about Bitcoin, guys? What a real bugger. I'm going to be the first one to call myself out. Maybe the worst tweet, at least initially, I've ever put out. Okay, moon phase now. How'd that look? Looked like a massive shakeout or shake in. But seriously, I don't think much changes. And remember, 111K was the target on the 4-hour chart. Let me go back here. It did this aberrational crypto move. Okay, remember this crab pattern? Right there, 118. Hop was 123. Normally, this would have failed. That first reaction. So there's the T1 finally. It's depending on what we're grabbing. 109, 110, 111. You get the picture. I think we got to focus really on oversold HSI, yellow dot. But the daily's what we're looking at. And the daily's going to have to get up like this. So we're still in this retracement phase. Yeah, it annoys me. It annoys everybody. And guys, I don't even think this is going to be anything like what we saw back in April. Remember 74K, 75K, that kind of a thing? I'm of the opinion that this really should be holding this 111K. But I'm willing to give it a little more time. 111K. Just another volatility retracement for crypto people to freak out over. Beyond that, I don't, It's not much. Now, here's something that, I was watching a famous YouTube crypto guy, Bitcoin guy, who says after Bitcoin tops out and if ETH goes to all-time new highs, then we will go through our typical 60 to 70% correction on Bitcoin. Like 60, 70% correction. If that was the case and Bitcoin was to correct from here, I find it difficult, really, that kind of rationale of saying that Bitcoin would ever go back under 50K again. And where we are relative to everything, let me get a Coinbase feed or where's Binance feed, something like that. One of these top feeds, crypto.com. Where we should be in the cycle, guys, is acceleration. So if this is a shakeout, so be it. But we're still, by definition, acceleration phase on the monthly chart. But look at what the monthly bar is going to do. Are we going to close this month? There you go. This weekend, end of the month. There you go. At least you didn't make a lower low yet on the monthly. And current low is 1086, which was just happening not too long ago. And then to get back to even, by the end of the month, you need to be above 115. And I really don't think this is the character here is much different than what you're trying to project it as, 4 years ago, from 4 years ago. Like, we're supposed to be somewhere here, 1618-ish of this prior cycle, and we're supposed to be expanding higher to 3618. This is taking its time, and so 115, guys, it's still the number. It is. Why is it the number? Because it's the top end of the range. Even if we come back down here, it's this range. Remember 1902, 1618 here, dictated by the 1618 cycle. There you go. 1902 overspill is really there, is 118. So maybe we haven't fully cleared it. Maybe we need an absolute monthly close above it. I don't know, but I'm still going, even with this retracement, I'm still going that we're entering, or we have entered, acceleration phase. And that takes you to November. I've said this all along. I'm not one of these guys that says we're going to ride this into the end of next year. Maybe you take it a little bit into January, but I got to think that a lot of this is over by the end of the year, which makes what's happening right now incredibly important in terms of price and time. I'm going to argue this. You should not take out any monthly low. All right, let me take off some of these other lines, just clear it up. All right, let me take off the patterns. And let's just look at, pure light levels. And that's probably the one thing that we really do here that is of the greatest of value for people. Just give them some levels. Give them some reliable targets. Give them some harmonic levels so they can build their own argument. And my argument's this. We are still kind of trying to bust this 1618. I thought we busted it right frickin' there. Right there. Okay, I'm early. I got shook in. But certainly, in a monthly acceleration, we're not taking out prior lows. Last time we did that was back in April. 3-4 month consolidation continue again. We don't see that kind of behavior in extreme ratio expansion. I mean, you have to go all the way back. I'm really digging down. You have to go all the way back. I mean, even you got to go way back here to where, and they're all the same. Okay, the prior cycles were crazy. You had these crazy 1000x, 10x expansions, 1000% moves. Like, I mean, imagine it's 2017 and you're looking at a 3618 at Bitcoin at 4K, all right, and then it goes to 20. Now, what's that? I mean, you really, I don't measure like that. I mean, I really can't offer anything. This is what I call blow off acceleration phase. Just wait for like a red candle beyond that. But typically, we've seen that same deal. This is a 1618 from the last cycle. All right, but once we started getting really moving, the expansion continued. There's 1618. 3618 was perfect last cycle. Right there. You guys get the picture? I mean, we're really supposed to be in this type of a phase. Like from here to 1618 to 3618. That's the model. And the last couple of cycles did crazier stuff. We get it. You guys were geniuses. Yeah, all the hodlers and the Bitcoiners that were buying Bitcoin under 100 a share or 100 a coin. Congrats. You guys are the greatest. The greatest trade ever, no doubt. Okay, but if we're going to continue this, they're going to fulfill the prophecy. We still expand 1618s, 314s, 3618s. All right, that's why what I'm looking at here, month over month bars, prior cycles, it's not typical to have red candles, period. It should be a straight shot, 3 months. Finish it and go. I mean, you can go back here. Let's get ridiculous, right? This kind of a thing, but we had already done a 1618 breakout. God, like, I mean, really. Anybody in here pre-Bitcoin, like owned Bitcoin before 2016? Still holding? For real? And that must have been like through just downloading the key. I mean, pre-exchange, really. Be interested to hear. Now, of course, a law of diminishing returns says on a percentage basis, stuff like this going 1000x or overspill, the chances of that continuing are unlikely, but we get more and more into the natural kind of cycle of growth. 1618, 3618. And I'll give it, why not do like a 618 retracement? Hold on. I mean, it's not a big deal to have like, look at the long term in terms of that type of framework. 3618, 618 pullback. 70% corrections, I don't know. But we're in the really 3/4 of the way, time-wise, if not more, of finishing what this should be. And again, if we go extreme, we still have 160 to go. That's the 2618. So what I'm saying from a harmonic perspective, guys, on the Bitcoin, maybe we need a couple more weeks to get out of the 1902 area. That's been such a bugger. I mean, 115, 115, because that was really for me the 1618. But if I want to be 118, depending on your feed again, we're still looking for this. And I say that in terms of the framework in the same way that I said 75K was just another retracement within the March. Like you go back here, 75K here, 50K there, 55K ish. Oh, that was 70K. So we're not. Maybe what we should really be looking for is, okay, when's the blow off run? I mean, we are mooning, but when's the blow off run that we see where it's compressed within a month, 2 months maximum, does its thing, tops out. That's the end of it. Come on back in 2 years. Let it, and then just ski the other side of the slope down for 18 months or more. For now, let's just focus on the obvious. All right, 111K. Okay, 111,000 on Bitcoin. Currently 1098. That's all right. But I'm looking at this only relative to the lows here back in April. What's possible? I mean, another 10% correction done. Where's the 382? Like, we're going to come all the way back down for another 382, like 105-ish. Looking for something here. We're at the 111. Okay, great. But this better end quickly and do it in the next, I don't know, week? Not even. And there's a couple different things. Yes, we can draw the shark if you really want to. I don't want to, but a summer 886 retrace, for me that would be probably the limit because you don't want it taken out any prior lows. I'd be surprised. I'd be surprised to see this down at an 886 off the summer because we're looking for launch pads to, not retracements. Not now. Not now, guys. I mean, you're looking for that thing, that trend channel to continue. And I say it's 111. What do I know? I just know harmonic stuff. I don't know your use case. I don't know your cold storage. But as something where this is an asset category, I can get that. Allocation cycle, I can get that. Let that repeat. Okay. I understand all of that. And we're at extreme levels where we're testing in a major way, we're persisting. Are we going to do that extreme push? From where? That's the last thing. From where? Here's the daily. So for me, I'd have to be looking at this on the daily. Down here at 111K. I have to get this daily HSI turning back up. And not only back up, but back above the 50 level like that. So until that does it, I'm monitoring it. I'm still watching. It doesn't help that, look, Amplify's all the way back down here. The best thing this could do would be to hold 111K and start back up and put in some higher lows on the indicator. If we are where we are, like if we're really where we're supposed to be, which is a retrace, pre-pump retrace. So where does the pump finally go? And it's go back above 115, 125, where 160 is the extreme minimum target. I'm going to stick with that. What do you guys think? What's up, chat? Sorry. Yeah, 104 is kind of low, Mr. Khan, but I hear you. Echo Leaf says you owned before 2016, still holding. A big congratulations to you and anybody else. Carthago says he was in at 2020. Congratulations. As a trader, guys, it's something where something goes up and it is going to come down 70%. I don't know. I don't play that game. And that's been, I've caught moves, big moves. I have not hodled a large portion. Like since the last couple of years, yeah, a chunk. But not like massive. My massive positions have been more like swing style. And I'm thinking if we go extreme on this cycle, any way you slice it, all right, that would essentially prove everything that they've talked about. Basically, this cycle proved everything. And I could see something where we make the move to extreme levels from where we are and then do like a 50% retrace, like skyrocket 160 or higher, and then come back to 100K and then finish, and then from like 100K do the move to the end of the decade. Again, just where are we going to stop on this run? I don't think it's 125, guys. In the same way I was looking at that down here at 75, 76. Anybody remember 76K like 6 months ago? And I said 76K, guys. I think I was like saying to the dollar, it was like 76,455 or something like that. And the low was like 75. So we're looking for that. We're looking for this another retrace within that channel. Developmentally looks. I could use some really politically incorrect terminology here. I want to, but I won't. Let's just say it's less constructive than I would like to see here. So we got some work to do. Bitcoin does have you've got 4 hour patterns. Let me clean these up. That just to highlight, yes, we have a bunch of harmonic support down here. But it just hit. I mean, everything is there. There's T1. We have the hop level of this crab pattern. And now we have another shark. I mean, we're just going to ping pong. And this is going to be our new range where, target one there. Target one, that's our support. Hop level resistance. Frames it out pretty well, but you know what has to happen. We need to stop here, start stabilizing. We have a dot. Whole lot of things down here. Okay, we're going to have to come back on Thursday, really, and see, give this till Thursday. I thought that was it. I thought the last test at like 111.2, and that was just last week. I thought that was it, but 1 and 2. We had to do a type 2 shark. We didn't have a dot post pattern. So be it. And it's, again, end of August. Lighter volume. Market's really not. I mean, NASDAQ's up 27 today. S&P's like fractional +5, -5, something like that. Great to see you guys. Come on in. Got more and more people coming in. Guys, hit the like button. Hit subscribe so you get the notifications. I was late today. We try to do it 12:30. Again, some days like today, I just have to walk away. Because if it's not really happening, NASDAQ, NQ, ES, NASDAQ's like in a 20-point range and a +20, -20. I can't really do much with that. I know there's a lot of people that will scalp that. I need a bigger population range, quite frankly. So, a little late today. But there it is. 4 hour shark pattern with a dot. That's the difference now than last week. Isn't that beautiful? T1, T2, those are the prior patterns. But there's confirmation. 109,900. Okay, great. Give me a 1 to 3% variance off the targeted 111 level. But that's it. So let's set it up. What are we looking for now? This is a good harmonic pattern breakdown. Because, look, if you're just drawing patterns, you would say, oh, there's the opportunity. No, that's the zone, the beginning of the zone. But here's the total zone. And then finally, there's confirmation just below the zone. That happens. So the final piece I would always look for is say, this is potential. But do we have anything in development? Yeah, I would say this is better. Get that above the 50 level. So this is a 4 hour chart, guys. You still have a few more hours of work before we can even consider this. I would say take it to tonight into tomorrow. HSI's got to get above the 50 to do anything And then bottom indicator is amplified RSI. All right, hypersensitive. Like if you understand, if you like MACD, stochastics, RSI, standard, amplified RSI kind of encompasses all of those ideas, metrics, especially when we can identify stuff like, all right, you're bottoming here. That's a start. We're trying to pop out of the zone. That's a start, but not till we get above the 50 level. So we know we're early. That helps a lot. That helps a great deal. I would say take this. We need a green. We need 1 4-hour green close. So even that's, take that up till about 4 o'clock today, 3 o'clock today. Yeah. But I'll stick with 111K. If we dip lower, well, you know where to find me. I'll be at the bar. No, seriously, I'm really just another retrace. The only thing I could be thinking is that maybe it's another one of these crazy type ones that want target 2, but we do have a dot, and that's like we've retested the pattern, we've hit targets. That was the only thing I worried about here with the deep crab right off the low. We didn't hit target 1. My original objective was come down, hit target 1, and then explode and violate the pattern on the retrace. It was so close. But yeah, I will. Maybe I should delete the post. I'm calling myself out. It happens. But without a doubt, that is the point. Like, I don't care what happens from this point forward beyond all of this junk. We're super clear. We just need to position. What's the next jump on point? It probably is tonight into tomorrow. Really quick, got to look at Ethereum because it looks like they're playing games on Ethereum, trying to get it to break out to all-time new highs. I'm impressed. I thought it would do it twice this month already. But there you go. Absolutely reckless buying going on. Doesn't mean that that's a bad thing. But Ethereum has got wind at its back. I'm impressed. We can still break it down on a 4-hour chart, respecting dots, respecting, patterns that are developing in strange places. Look, there's a 4-hour bearish crab pattern. That was back in the around 9th of August. And it was a dud. All of that was like 44, 4,300. All right, so it goes sideways to up. Not a huge net effect, but clearly 30 bars post fact. Let me blow it up. Let me make it really big so we can, because this stuff matters. This stuff really matters, and this is, we can read a lot into where the patterns come together and how do they react. But right there's T1. There's 30 bars right there. What's it doing? Failed. When our expectation is to go from there to there, that's our assumption. All right, and there's the dot right there. Let me blow it up. Really blow it up. Let's go step by step. Because we'll be breaking down the 4-hour time frame all the way up to 6K on Ethereum. Looking for stuff like this. So if that's the T1 and finally dot confirmation, actually right there, you did have a perfect check back. The open bar trigger was 42.62. The next bar, you clipped it on right at the open, 42.65. They sent it down. This is an ideal. I mean, couldn't ask for a better short opportunity than literally right there. Right there. What happens? A little nominal reaction, 1%, 2%, not even 1.5%. and then just goes sideways. Cannot make it out of the zone, can't get to target one. And how would you know? It's simple 30 bar. I mean, here's the window. I mean, you don't even need 30 days. By day 20, you have violated the hop. But even within the 3 to 5 window, there's the dot. Okay? You have a dot, and then you go sideways for, 20 bars or more. No follow through. No follow through. Probably stopped out right where once the check back occurs, there should be no return. That should have went into full reaction mode. So take it to the right. And then what do we do again? This is all this month, guys. Ethereum. Bullish pattern T1. What do we expect? Probably reaction. And because T1 is generated, we'd look for, 4,200, hop level 4,100. Take it. There's the T1 finally prints. Finally prints there. So stuff's getting sloppy, but it's still in type 1, type 2 framework. Can we get something like this now for Ethereum? As sloppy as that is, the fact that we printed a bullish pattern, there's the one. Another one of these going from the pattern completion T1 to target 2. Crypto loves to do that. Can we finally get back here for the type 2? The type 2 and then explode and go. That would be the end of the summer, early fall setup for Ethereum on the 4-hour chart. And, essentially, this thing went from 1,500 straight to 4K. And now trying to back test. Sorry about that, guys. Just trying to back test this 4K. There it is. Sorry. Be aware of that. Ethereum is just hasn't stopped. It looked like, and still does look like, what it's trying to do is just get a bunch of people lumped in here as it pierces all-time new highs and then comes off immediately. Not too concerned just yet. Also, I mentioned this factor, and I think it's something that until we see it, it will give us a great deal of assurance that we're still need a couple more things. Like let's say you're a total Ethereum bear, and you say that's it. It's a total fake out. Ethereum is not going above 5K. It's going to stop there. Well, what's going to happen is we're going to have 1, 2, 3, like 4 red bars immediately that would trigger. You have several dots happening here. 1 and 2. We know there has to be 2 dots here because on the way up, all right, we've generated 1 signal, second signal. Both of them are duds. We do know that, and again, you guys should expect this. You need 2 red bars before we get a dot. So that's where you are here. But you need a second dot on these 2, and then right there, 42, and even the prior all-time high. My point is, we're going to need 4 dots. I have to look at the code because I don't know if the time setting, or are we going to change the time setting, can track all the way back there. But we've checked back. This is weekly. We've got 1 dot that won't be complete until the end of the week. But what should be happening here, if this is not, look, if it is going to take it out and it's not going to be just a fake out, all right, against all these prior highs and this prior all-time high, let it just be red today, this week. But you're going to need a couple of red weeks before you can even think that. I'm Ethereum's just been kind of a mind-blowing move where the wall of money came in on this really fast, and all the people decided to jump in and try to corner the market at the same time. There you go. Hourly chart, guys. It is like this. Here we go again. Target 1, type 1 to target 2. 43.62. We got to look down here. All right. We got to look down here. And I think it's that, or even on the 4-hour chart, you've got some patterns, and we have precedent. We have precedent. If you have a bearish pattern, what's happening? You're getting a counter HSI signal. Like, just because we get a bearish signal here doesn't mean that it's a sell signal. If anything, it's a pause. All right. Then you get a counter dot. You can't see it, but right there, that's a bullish dot. And we form another bullish pattern. That's kind of sloppy. But within the larger development, we've seen that before. Let it be sloppy. But, there's another example, and that was just beginning of the month. And that was 35, and it went, that went up 50%. That's kind of crazy. You think about that. You went from 34 to almost 5K in 3 weeks. Another one here at 3K. So, yeah, and I told you guys Ethereum is the one I missed, but I'll look for the next. I'm literally looking for the next entry, and that I thought maybe 36, 35. No. But let's look for counter signals like that again. Also, Ethereum Bitcoin pair seems to not want to look back now. Remember this? Monthly. Check this out. So there's your Ethereum Bitcoin pair. I think what we should see here on this next wave is Ethereum Bitcoin to go to 6. Okay, go to 6 cents here, however you want to. 0.06. Not really 6 cents. Target 2. Because that's what harmonic patterns do with crypto. It's a massive, beautiful bat pattern. It took 3-4 months of turning around. Now you're fully on. You're fully on, and yeah, that's great for a lot of the other ones. And then you've got this kind of consideration. Are we going to finally break that out and get moving? A huge, this is massive stuff. I mean, it's a quiet Tuesday here, August, last week of August, but these are major developments going on right now. Absolutely. What's up, Daniel? Yeah, Daniel's saying target 1. I'm saying target 1's easy. 0.04467. Just treat it for target 2, guys. And I do think that once we hit 0.04467 on the ETH Bitcoin pair, we get another acceleration. Be aware of it. It's a great pattern. It's so early on, it's ridiculous. Plenty of time on that. A couple others. Yeah, Ethereum's got the animal spirits, man. It really does. It's got animal spirits, and it's got a wall of like easy money chasing it now. And I'm amazed. There's the downtrend. Here's our daily, and this is also, look, daily Ethereum Bitcoin is up against the channel, printing a crab pattern off the low. It's not the nicest of formations, but think of it like this. If this is the last shakeout wave down, that's the impulsive 1618 up. So let's digest this for now. Come back and give me another HSI, then we'll go again. Because we're going to have to bust up above this. We're going to have to get, 4.2, 4.4. Got to get above that to really open this market up. If it's a week, 2 weeks, It's not 6. Couple others. What's up, Matt? Do I think Bitcoin on the hourly or 2 hour bullish shark just reached the PRZ? Yeah, we talked about that in the beginning. We started with that. Take a look at the 4 hour time frame. We're literally right there right now. But I said it's going to have to stabilize, and we really won't know until tonight's close. 111 is the number now. I don't want to see 104. I don't want to see 109, 108. But we're still going through the retrace. Almost done. I think it's almost done. Cactus Leo says Trump team trying to buy all of crypto. Maybe. Maybe. Somebody's got lots of money. Someone just got loaned a ton of money to allocate. Others for William. What's going on, William? The others market, it's like this. And it still is an others market where if you're not Bitcoin and Ethereum now to a lesser extent, or maybe XRP or one of the top 5 or 10, you're really in the shitter. The others index it's like a tale of two tail. Excuse me. It's a tale of the tape of two tapes. All right, you have those trending, and we have others market, which is excluding top 10, just ping ponging level to level, shark to bat to shark. For the others index, it's like 300 billion roughly. You can't get above it. You need to get above if you're really going to see this skyrocket. And what I would say is a similar situation to Ethereum, which is this. What you're looking for is the others index, guys, to go and take a new cycle out of this wedge, okay, and do something like this. From this, break the wedge out and do like a 1-to-1. That's what you are looking for if this is the fulfillment of the second half of the cycle, and that is within this window coming in. It's like we could just simply go here like this. A, B, C, D minimum. If we just simple sine wave A, B, C, D, that's what should happen. Okay, or if this is price discovery possibilities, again, if this sets it up where we are now potentially in what is a new C leg, and I'll get to that in a second. XAB B's at an 886, then that should be a 1618 for the deep crab. But that is not really valid until we take out B point, we take out downtrend. All right, but this is the assumption you're trying to make with others and with the entire index. That wedge is powerful. That's a powerful chart. But you have this window now. Am I crazy? If this is the year, it's got to be the year now. It's not 4 years from now. So something's got to give. And I would say pretty soon. And I'd say, right now, the dailies just, you're vacillating at this crab pattern. There you go. That's the July-August time frame. It's a shark. You get, we're still T1. So what is it? Just reaction. Reaction from T1 to T1 Oh, we didn't get it yet. Just shy. Why? Counter HSI. So you're ping-ponging here. Really? Can you get above like 325, 330? Then the pattern fails. Until then, we're going to be stuck. And I would say even a lower, like 275. Retest some of this. Do I say it's too late to do a Bitcoin to ETH swap? Why would you swap out Bitcoin ever? At this point, man, I really, I don't think you swap it. I think if you're in Bitcoin, you're in Bitcoin for the long term. Now, if we get that huge move, let's say that we realize the move by the end of the year, and then Bitcoin is substantially higher from than where we are now. Trading wise, yeah, but at this point, no. I think your best spot, your best move is nothing. Line stuff up. Line stuff up. Understand what needs to happen here, and just focus in. And focus in on really, I think Bitcoin. Just stay on Bitcoin. If Ethereum gives us something, we'll jump on it. Again, Ethereum. I think everybody's chasing it. It's a hell of a move. But yeah, I mean, look, you're generating crab patterns up here. Um, not yet, not yet. Daily, weekly, dinner now. You guys get the picture. Just remain patient. How many dots have we seen? Since the low. Yeah, you can see it. Dot there, dot there. 1, 2, 3 dots in the general area. Another dot here. General area like 42. Possible another setup like 43, 44. But the other consideration, if you're going to go Ethereum, you're not allowing for any retraces. So four handles it. Four handle for 4K. Any retrace, that should be it. Couple more. Yeah, I think you really have to just kind of hold in here. Yeah, it's patience today. I agree with that, guys. A couple of you guys, I'm just scrolling back. Yeah, Nvidia coming up. We'll get to that in a second. Who's MBT? Says 101. Maybe. Yo, I didn't even see Mitch is in the house. What's up, Mitch? Sorry, Mitch. How are you? I always give you a shout out, man. How you been? I've just been riffing off the chart. I didn't even look at the chat until now. Mitch Ray in the house, everybody. Come on. Pump it up. CRV. Yeah, I can look at that. That was a surprising recovery, right? 40 cents. No one really gave that a scratch. We had patterns down there. And look at that. Oh, that did 130 all the way back. Like CRV here. I thought so. That was a year ago was 23, 1 to 120, back to 40, up to 117, back to 30. I don't know. I mean, you've got patterns here, but the last pattern you have is a bearish bat, alternate bat that did the type 1. You got some prior patterns. This is, again, this or Bitcoin. I mean, maybe this thing is building now, but the long term is, if you're looking at that as, here's your all-time chart. Are we ever getting off of this floor at 40 cents? It's not yet to be determined. Yet to be determined. And that's 98% of crypto, okay, is right in that chart. And that's the good case. Why? Because you're not at all-time new lows. But that's the challenge. If you're in stuff like this and you're not trending and it's going sideways, that's how it's going to be until we get some kind of spectacular move. And I would say this for these kind of plays. If we get the move into October, November, and this spikes up, you get out. You're looking for an exit. You're looking for an exit because after this Bitcoin cycle, it pops and then it retraces for Bitcoin. Like in the next retrace, if that's in 2 years from now, that's it. I already think you're at that point with Bitcoin. And maybe Ethereum on this cycle finally does it. Like really penetrates and breaks out. Here's XRP. Same kind of a deal. XRP, 175 billion. Check that out. Oh, did you where'd it go? Hold on. I had that. Hold on. You guys saw that pattern. I don't know why that flashed up and then went away. Let me get a Binance. There it is. It's a crab pattern, you know, XRP to 550 all time. All right. If that's going to be realized, then of course, we're not coming back. This is a simple retrace where you're on to the next leg, but you know, eventually. Right now, XRP, pretty interesting with generated crab pattern, trying to fail it. All right. And now we have a bunch of these counter HSI signals. You know, right there. This is the reaction. Right there. Around 290. Call it 295 to be exact. Right where you are. That's a counter dot right there. Let me blow this up. It's a dud. Just automated. Like, you know, the software is automated algos are generating a crab pattern generally here. I think some people would look at that and say, well, why not just draw it off of the prior high to low? You could do that. I mean, I won't get into too much, give away the secrets, but there are constraints within the MW formations of why this is pulling from here. But even like look, a 1618 like there to a 1902 kind of a theory, if that's all that was, then we pull back. There's the counter signal. XRP just building again, and then let's go market cap. You know, XRP trying to get above on this chart. We have a Gartley. Several bearish patterns here, all at 200 billion. Is XRP going to be something that is worth more than 200 billion eventually? I think so. Okay, so from what point? At what point and when? Is it going to happen this cycle? We got to get through this. And it's 200 billion. You know, 200 billion right there and there. Your best shot at the moment is holding this 175. We've talked about it. A couple flushes. It's roughly like 280, 285. Okay, that's it. And you need to see that thing hold now. It's been a tough one. Not a lot. There was nothing, no patterns down here. Just a bunch of 4-hour dots. And then we were able to make that higher high and come back again. One or two things that I've discussed before, XDC, kind of related to those, did the retrace. And so now we can start looking. Just start looking now. T1 hit yesterday. Maybe that was today. The low was 79. Yeah, that was today. We've been waiting for that for a few days. So there you go. So let that happen today and then start tomorrow. That's one. There's a couple others. XRP, XLM. I mean, what the heck is going on here? A couple of dots, HSI. You know, you're here with the daily. Um, Look, ever since, remember the type 1, type 2? Target 1, 1 and 2. It finally hit target 2 up here. That's 41.44. If this was a 5-minute pattern, I would look at it like this. I would say, okay, the immediate pattern did its job, 1, 2. That's a secondary, tertiary confirmation. We should have a dot either today or tomorrow, literally a higher dot. That needs to happen. And go from there. You're not really looking at this to come back uh, anything much more than where you are. 39 cents, 38 cents. 4-hour time frame like that. Patterns. So this is important to be watching this down here. 37.32 is the hop level. And if this is all going to work out, you're looking for this to go from there and then continue. Yeah, a couple more. Oh, boy. Eric Trump in the end was right. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know. Solana. Look, these right for the run. Okay, is it going to be totally fulfilled though? I'll circle back to that in a second. Solana here. Another one. Waiting for 225, guys. Look, the weekly return is still the case here. Still dictated by this pattern. A deep crab. I mean, we're just going to have to embrace the fact that when you have a harmonic pattern and we're in a crypto market, it loves target 2. 106 was the freaking low. I mean, it was lower than that. I think it was 96. No, 103. 95 was the low there. 106 was T2. Return move. You have a dot, but it's not official till the end of the week. I would prefer the full type 2, 227. So this is just early. A lot of up and down yo-yo action. And if we really are strong, look, 275 on the retest of the deep crab. These are minimum levels, guys. If you're really going to see something crazy, it would have to absolutely blow through here and just continue. But I'll take it up to 220, 275 tops, but 227 minimum for Solana. You just got to let that, it's a slow return happening here. Even a nice shark at 120. That was nice. 1-2 shark. But that's all right. Okay, NB, I'll get to that in a second. What's up? Cosmic clearance. Litecoin. Litecoin. Every time you think that's going to do something, up at 120. We do have patterns, though. There's been a lot of patterns on Litecoin lately. And target 1 off of the bat that was just back in the beginning of the month has hit. Boy, a couple of things hitting today, right? T1 dollar sign. That is in. And like all of them, I don't look. You have the bat. Sorry, you had a. Just look at all these patterns. You had the Gartley down here at 70, but you never got to the full type 2. It happens. But if you're looking for target 1 to go to target 2, type 1, which is there, blow it up, go to target 2, which is 115, mission accomplished. So Litecoin's here, it's at type 1, no confirmation as we're hitting. You know, there's a prior check back. Why not target 2? That would be the maximum downside, but it's under 106. Litecoin is, wait for some kind of confirmation under 106. And then if we get out of it in the next week or two, you're then targeting a return. but it's early. Today, first day it hit. That's it. What's up, Jeremy? How you doing today? What's 11 billion? Ah, okay. I'll come back to that. Crypto space, one or two more. I mean, Doge. I think Doge has got just more work ahead of it. It's another target one, and what we would look for a dot. We've got that. I had a prior shark, 27 cents. Target one, guys, is 20.8 cents. If you're really looking for something, I look, I get it. Doge is slowly building. Okay, that's not bad. I'll pull out the weekly in a second, but if we're looking for something right now, I'm not looking at Doge. Doge is not, and maybe I'm going to be wrong on this, but I'm really not sizing up Doge on this cycle. If I was, I'd have to look at this 20-cent level, 20.48. Retest this dot. The perfect move would be, and I'm not saying this is going to happen, but boy, if you could get to target 2 one more time, that would be a lot more. And you've got, I mean, it's more like this weekly chart that continues to build on Doge. So be it. But where are we headed back to? I mean, if it's 20 or 14, doesn't matter. Is it ever going back to all-time new highs? Are we ever getting above that high and that high? That's how you got to look at it. Right now, it's 20 cents. Let it come back under 20 or 20.5. Sure. Yeah, we can go there. Let's do some stocks. FWOG is the last one. Crypto. FWOG, I don't know what this is. This is a meme coin. Yeah, it's just not doing anything. Recovery play. I went to target 1, back down. 4.2, look at 3.4. I think, like a lot of these, you need a trigger. You need a trigger two ways. You need to get above 50 level on amplified and HSI before anything can happen. So that just continues sideways grind. 3.4 cents. But that's it for now. Really quick. NASDAQ is back to being flat on the day. We came in here. We were up 20 or 30. Here you go. What's happening up here? We do have a counter HSI, and I'll get to a couple of those stocks in a second, especially NVIDIA. Okay. You're up here just stalling. And the last HSI was bullish at 23. 23.6 has been our summer target. That was our objective all summer long, like there. And maybe just more of this. More chop. I mean, today, I've been struggling even in the last week to find stuff. Not a lot on like the 5-minute, except for this. Is just this bat pattern from last week. This is typical August, end of August. All right, that's the only way to explain it. You're here. We're going on 5-6 trading days. You haven't even finished the type 1. If this was March or April, we would have done that move inside of like 30 minutes. This 5 days. Now we do have HSI finally triggered here on oversold. But again, I think we're not really going to wrap anything up until next week and get on with it. Still bullish. I'm actually looking for either next dot, next pattern, something at this high level where we then start to do continuation. We have to be continuing above 24K, guys, really soon. It's only 500 higher, but we need to be on this kind of a path into October, November, and just continue. Break out. Is that a top? No. I'm not of the opinion that's a top. And some people are calling that a top. I just don't get it. Dow Jones Industrial Average hit all-time new highs last week, and people are saying it's, look out, bear market's coming. We've been hearing that for a long time. No doubt we'll continue. Guys, how many corrections have we been through just in the last 12 months? Here we go. Down, back up, down again, even harder down, back up. So down again and then back up maybe. I mean, however it comes. I'm of the opinion, though, we're just with the patterns and everything that you're looking at, daily, weekly, even the monthly levels here. There's weekly, potential dot this week, yes, above our zone here. But again, we wouldn't even look at it till next week if that generates. I don't know. I'm still, again, looking at this. Early signs of a breakout. Maybe we pause here and then we start to go higher. The targets are still we're still looking for 1618 expansion. Longer term, end of the year kind of a thing, but this is still the argument. So right there, 1618, 26.6, 26.5. Couple more. Yeah. NVIDIA. All right, let's just kind of segue around. NVIDIA, guys, 180. What was the target all along? 190. We're getting there, and I'll show you some things. We talked about this last week. This is the general assumption. Okay, 1618 is there. Bring it down like that. 1902 range. It's like that. Get it? That's the overspill range for whatever this recovery move is. 195. And we do have, look, the crazy thing is that the daily oversold trigger 2 days ago, 2 sessions ago, did what it should do when it fails. Okay, we had a bat pattern, and it was a dud. There's the confirmation at 141, sideways breakout. At that point, it's a failure. Literally, you don't need to wait until it gets to the hop level. At that point right there, you know it's going higher. Goes through the hop, finally some confirmation. There's the dot, but then what happens? It just keeps going up. And now, bullish HSI, all-time highest HSI bullish reading ever. That's not weakness. This is weakness. When you've got the zone and you project it right, look, the magic, the reaction should happen in 30 bars. What's that doing? 3 to 5, 5 to 7, sideways to up. That's a dud. And now higher. I 195 on NVIDIA. I really don't care. 195. Probably plus 200. Even checking back last week, that's 183. SOX index ready to break out. This is a big deal. And I think you guys should be following it closely. This is how we're getting, if we're going to take it out, Nasdaq's going to just blast. It's going to be failing this pattern. This is how we get to Nasdaq 26.5, guys. The SOX, semiconductors, continue. They blow through, and they just do a morph. no confirmation. And I've talked about these monthly indicators on stocks. They're expanding above 50, expanding. You only need 2, 3 more steady months higher, and you take that out, and it's a much bigger continuation. 5,800 now, hop 6145, target that minimum. Minimum. Okay, and there's the last. Look, we continue to print HSI oversolds. This is another sign of continuation. Okay, at the bottom, right there. Some of the first signals. Push up, slight retrace. Beautiful. High level HSI dot continuation. Send it to the hop. Sideways dud. Another continuation. Check back. This happened last week. This goes. This goes now. It's like a 7% move over the next 6 weeks, I think, on stocks. Maybe no. Call it 5%. You're going above 6K on this index. That's where and these are some of the things in this real kind of end of the summer environment. This is the kind of thing to be paying attention to. What happened last week, Wednesday, Thursday, of a successful 5,500 test on stocks should take you higher and trigger the rest of the market with you. We see Nvidia. So I expect that to be up. Nvidia earnings to make it like 195, 200 even. I mean, I'm not going to be surprised if I see that. What I think is happening is you're finally seeing the crappier laggards try to do something like Intel. Okay, government took a stake. Great. Probably a smart play. Probably smart with what they can do with it. There's Intel. All right. I think next month is Intel's month. Breakout next month on Intel, no matter what. Couple more. M-chip, microchip. Some of these have really got crushed, and they've come back in dramatic fashion. There's M-chip, microchip. Left for dead down here. Back up 67. And I think the kind of the leader of the recoveries has been AMD. And I think, look, AMD's massive pattern up here. We're at target 2. You're retesting a shark pattern. I think that's it for now, but I would be monitoring AMD like the rest of them. I mean, really clear that 185 is capping the whole deal for now. That's it. For now, 185, okay, I'm fine with that. Let it retrace, but it's after the retrace that I'm interested in what happens with AMD. And you can go to just across the board, Applied Materials, up here with another pattern, type 1, let it do the retrace. Because you're looking for this stuff after the retrace. Like the April move was the recovery. Now we're in the secondary test. After we finish that secondary test, look out. And I'll show you. Look. Here's TerraWolf. No, that wasn't it. It was the other one. Well, TerraWolf is running, but that wasn't the one. It was Wolfspeed. So Wolfspeed was left for bankruptcy. Still is. And some of these really beaten down chips are pretty interesting. I'm looking at that 82 cents. It's $1.33. If we just wanted to get crazy, super speculative. But that's just throwing that out there. If we get down under $1, I'm going to watch that. Because I think if these aren't out of business by now, their chance for recovery is pretty good. Hold on. No, sorry. KLAC. Hold on. Here you go. right back in the top end. KLAC just within this channel continues. We're scraping up against the top end. A crab pattern right now. Let it do a retrace. Guys, let's go back to back patterns here. That's what we've been doing. 630 to 943, back to target 1, and then go from there. Kind of a thing, but just we're at the top of the channel, retrace, but the channel still goes. ASML. ASML. Here, back down. Lots of support. We're 755. I'm just looking for this under 700 last time. Like, that's kind of the last, in my opinion, a lot of these are about to put in their last retest. ASML, back to back to back. Let's target this next retrace. It's like 600-ish. Can we get it down one more time? That would be amazing. LS Lattice Semiconductor. This was a relatively new one. Our old one that came back on. Type 2, perfect. Okay, you're looking for this retrace to be it and for a new cycle to go. Lattice, that's, and what's the other one? Land Research, LRCX. Yeah, look, just they keep going. That's a trending asset. Next retraces, probably the last retraces on those. Yeah. Couple more. Cracker Barrel, no. Let's see. No Cracker Barrel. All right, well, Cracker Barrel, a story stock. Well, we won't even get into it. What is it? It's a bat pattern at the hop at 36. That's all. I don't care. I have no story. I mean, look. This was a generational, amazing generational play. Okay? But now we're all the way back down. COVID basically finished this restaurant. And now they want to finish it again. But I'm not there. There's not, the weekly at 67, there's nothing there. I mean, daily, meh. I mean, I see what you're saying. It's the same thing could be said for United Healthcare. All right, but that's just nothing going on there. A couple of bearish patterns. Look, even before all that nonsense, if you're looking at Cracker Barrel, replace the story with the pattern. What's there? Well, it's a type 2 on the bat. Okay, there. A full retest. Hop level 66. Crab pattern 69. Send it down, target 1. That's all. That's what it was. Not necessarily a story, just in a ripe position to do a type 1 retracement. Yeah. Oh, the other one I wanted to bring up, Broadcom, guys. Broadcom is the other one. It's like NVIDIA. I'd say this goes a lot higher. And we have yesterday literally put in a daily HSI for you. 293. I just bring it up. Earnings coming up next week. Thursday the 4th. Watch it. I mean, that's already back at all-time new highs. That was 148 in April. That's 300. That's a double. Yeah, a couple more. What do you guys have? Crowd. Is that Crowdsource? CRWD. CrowdStrike. Nice one. Who put that up? What's up, Zingla? Welcome to the program. I like the pattern. And we keep seeing these. We keep seeing these things ping pong. Really take this to heart. This is really definition of what I would say harmonic uptrend. Because It's still respecting patterns. You know, retracement, little harmonic dud, retracement up higher. All right, finally a target one. Go back. There's the shark. Go down another target one. That's like 386. I'd say 386 is your number. Shark to 5-0 with a bullish bat. So look for it a little bit lower. And then just continue to stair step this along the way. That's what it is. I'm not surprised by that. Look, yeah, I mean you're just next retrace. Daily ISO, or excuse me, weekly oversold on CrowdStrike. But you know what to do after we resolve this in 3 weeks, 2 or 3 more weeks. Look for it. Yeah. Couple more. Jake, UAA is just, is that ever going to do anything? No. I mean, there's a big pattern. Again, are we in a trending market? Under Armour, I know we've looked at this many times. We've looked at Under Armour at 6 and 7, and now it's 5. And there's big patterns down there. But, you know, it's a downtrend for 10 years, guys. Nothing, really not a lot there. And if something did happen off of the hop at 433, that would be just a quick reaction. I don't have a lot there. Let's keep it rolling. Biodeck. Biogen. 136. I've got nothing. That's like United Healthcare. Okay, United Healthcare. Kind of a shark. 250 to 300. I still don't have anything on United Healthcare despite the drop. RXRX, Recursion Pharmaceutical. I still know my symbols. Again, another one. Look, shark pattern all the way down here. NVIDIA was supposed to take them to the moon. We haven't done anything. Back at $4, maybe $3.57. Got nothing. Maybe. I guess, you know, the rate cut thing, could it be happening? Coca-Cola, it's a type 2. Weekly. And it's definitely stalling out. This is an interesting creature here. And I would say target 2 is in play. That's 8, 9 lower. This is probably the nicest type 2 since the last type 2, which was all the way back in 2023. But Coke is a forever stock, and even if it does something like that and like that, for the most part, you're just looking for the next place to jump on. That's probably target 2. Not a lot to go off here. Russell for Lino. What's up, Lino? Lino, you never contacted me on last week, did you? The Russell is another bearish pattern without confirmation because it's a type 2. We need to complete that confirmation. So T2 literally hit last week. Friday. That's amazing. Right there's the bar. Here's your zone, guys. But because it's a type 2, what do you need? Confirmation. So 236, that's the big XA leg. But there's nothing up here. Really, maybe I won't say nothing. I'll say this. You do have HSI. It has checked back. But you need one and then a second red candle before you would even look at that as being confirmed. Take it into September. Let's look at that next week. Look at that next week. Yeah. One or two more. Thales wants to look at ARM. Yeah, I like ARM. You like that chart? It's like SMCI too. Can we get another retrace? Load up on this. Here's ARM Holdings. I mean, that was pretty amazing. ARM is like this. You're looking for daily continuation here. I mean, that was an amazing crab pattern at 86, like everything else. Um, at the lows in April. But this might be an even better spot for ARM at 140, right where it is now. High level confirmation. I don't want to see that come all the way back down. It should continue from here and retest the higher zone. Your post earnings. I still think that's a better look. The longer term chart, sorry, longer term charts like this. And yeah, amazing. That was like 44. But what you're looking for, ARM, is not only to go back but get above all of this. Start a new cycle. For now, I'd look at 140. Yeah, that's like SMCI. And SMCI, I think, is down here daily type 1 trying to stabilize. So it's somewhere around 41, 43 bucks that we're looking for some kind of return move down here and then return it. Literally started a week ago. Friday was the first time. We should be building here. That's SMCI. Yeah. We sure. What's up, Laura? She wants to look at natural gas. Why not? Let's look at nat gas. Let's look at crude oil. Nat gas back down after the big pump. That's so like it. Here's the deal. Okay, nat gas getting into the August SEP and soon to be Ocnovi spreads, which is Ocnovi's like probably the one of the most one of the spreads with the biggest volume. Essentially, it's a hurricane play. We have no hurricanes this year. Knock on wood. Thank you. But 295, $3, trying to grind out support down here. You know, and that gas is like this all time. But I don't know. I think if you're going to go there, there's probably better energy plays than trying to pick off nat gas. I mean, we caught a move a couple years ago and then tried to re-enter, and it just didn't do anything. We had the pop for the year. I mean, look, another big pop, shark. Come on back, 886. So, meh. Versus crude oil, which is still, I gotta think crude oil is going to break decisively into the 50s after it's just getting held up here. But remember, crude oil for me, harmonic pattern world, is this. It's a monthly, all-time deep crab pattern that already finished target 1. And we're just, I think we're just pounding this artificially sideways. XA levels 27. I know that sounds crazy, but I think it's lower. Even with the dot, it's like 58. So I expect crude oil to basically wind out this position, grind lower, and trend lower. Trend lower. I mean, it's like and just take it 10 at a time. 60s, then the 50s, then we'll see if we get down to the 40s-ish. But I just think we're grind lower. I'd say energy goes lower. It's in a controlled fall. $55 is the number for crude oil, guys. And while we're there, gold 33.50. You know that. 34.30 again. 33.50 is the number on gold. Sideways. You got it, Laura. Welcome to the show. A couple more. Take your requests, and I'm out of here. I'm gonna go get lunch, more coffee, whatever. Neo, cheapers, creepers. Is this gonna survive bankruptcy? Neo at 675. I know there's a bunch of these stocks popping off. Neo's okay. Look, you're in something like Neo. If you're gonna buy it down here, I mean, it is a bat pattern. It's an all-time 886 reset. But I think your goal here, it doesn't. I'm not saying jump in it now, but if you're looking down here, you're looking for a massive recovery, guys. And we're 3 years into this sideways action. And so that's my take on that. It's okay. It's finally put in a higher low. You've got verifiable patterns here. Weekly, daily, some things. But I don't even think even the fact that you've gone from 3 to 6, that's not what you're looking for. You're looking for like 15, guys. Get back to 15, 16. And if that's the case, we'll get another play here. Earnings coming up Tuesday, week from today. I'm going to say it again. I like solar. Okay, it's a little overextended right now. Solar Edge, First Solar, the TAN Solar ETF. Maybe we'll save that for Thursday. But I'm watching solar. I consider this the first push. And Solar Edge is a lot like your Lucid. Okay, you're not looking for 15 to 30. You're looking from 15 to like 80 with this kind of recovery. That's what you're playing for. Yeah, get back to the 75 level. That's Solar Edge. Uh, First Solar, probably a better long-term trend. And again, 197. Can we get under 200? Yeah, not yet. That 130 area was pretty nice. But what it looks to me is that this is a long-term multi-year retrace just ended in First Solar. And I would think we get back to retesting that crab pattern. That's why solar looks interesting. Yeah, Rogelio, to the Bain, where are you? What part of Brazil are you in? He wants to look at the EWZ. I haven't looked at this in a long time. I'll be down there in December, I think. EWZ. What a great place. What a great country. Brazil. The Brazilian ETF, guys, is a massive Gartley. Trying to hold this 34 level, 24 level on the ETF. And it just, it's that kind of a constraint. Maybe it's next year. And again, you're waiting this long. You're 10 years sideways. Oh my goodness. I was living down there, and just to give you perspective, I was living down there here. Amazing. Was it October? No, it was October 2010, I think. Crazy. So 15 years ago, I was down there. What did you buy it for? BTBT? I'll get to that in a second. Yeah, waiting for an entry on that. Are you down there? Are you in the country? Like, what's going on day to day in Brazil, down in the country? Are people okay? I mean, I've been hearing it's a little tough. Exchange rates crushing it. That's kind of the take. Maybe. Marcin wants to look at Baba. What's up, Marcin? How's the gold treating you? Baba, another 124. I like it. Monthly, it's 106 is the HSI level, and we've held 77. I think this goes higher, guys. Can we jump in on it? Where's the next place to jump in on this? Like, Baba doesn't look like it wants to give it up. Yeah, I would just be waiting for these 4-hour dots for Baba. And again, slow mover, but that'll come back. Like 118. Pretty interesting stuff. I think that's another one. Like, you go back on this monthly, all right, that crab pattern, it's taking a long time. I mean, this is 2022. So you're 4 years, 3 years into this thing to get to target one. That's a little more than 30 months. There's 30 months right here, like this. There, and 30 months was a year ago. Now you're making progress. I will say that. I'd look for target one, minimum. Still a recovery play though. That's it. You're in California, nice. Well, I hope to get down there by the end of the year. Lots of family friends down there. What's up, Mr. Forrest? BTBT, man. I know everyone wants BTBT because of the Ethereum thing now. But again, explain, describe the pattern. Describe what you see on the chart that you have. Here's BTBT. And they had a pop because they're going to be Ethereum treasury now, what have you. But net, what happened? Nothing. We can't even get above XA level at $4. You're going to have to wait for this retest. I think it's 215. Hate to say it. But boy, this is just not done what it needs to do. And still you're playing for target one. That's $13. I don't have, there's just not a lot of these. The only one that I see moving is Iran. Am I right? Anyone explain why? I mean, that's 5. There's 23. That's how all of those should be going, guys. Mara, Riot, they should look like this. Clean Spark. And the clear difference. There's Clean Spark. I like Clean Spark. I think Clean Spark's going to have a day. This is a big first thrust to me. But I need to see some kind of confirmation. The weekly on Clean Spark now is hitting. Oversold. That is something different than a lot of them. BTBT or BMNR. Isn't that the Tom Lee thing? Yeah, just let's issue, 100 million in stock. And then I'll just hit market buy on Ethereum until it's gone. Oh, sorry, 8 billion. And I'll just pour it into Ethereum. I don't know. Bitmine immersion. What was that? That was 34. I'm looking. But a lot of these, here's Canner Equity. That was another one and kind of failing. Not kind of, it is failing. Or Circle. Deeper retrace. Doesn't want to give anything up. I'm following these. I'm looking for these guys. I think that's a full 886. There's nothing you can do about that at this point. I don't know. I'm looking at a lot of them. Clean Spark has my attention. Just so that I know a couple of you mentioned Mara. I mean, when Mara? You're baselining right here. It's a perfect shark to 5.0. I like that. All right. I definitely like this Mara situation. You're a shark to 50, and then $15 is the 50 with a dot. When are we going to return that? Because that's what should be happening. Let's hold me to Mara, guys. Hold me to Mara this week into next week. $15, 15.66. It's 15.78 right now. It should do this. Push higher now. Mara might be another one. Clean Spark's another one. If you want to speculate, other things, what was the other one? Not BTBT. What was the other one? Was it Hive? There was one that was a penny stock. Was Hive? Shit, look at that. Hive's moving. Whoa. Wait, now, I like that. That's something we can look at. Or maybe, no, Hive or Hut. No, I think it's Hive. There's Hut. Damn, look at Hut. 11 to 25. Okay, so that's clearly different than Riot, Mara. I mean, that's moving. But where's Hive? Hive was like a buck and change. Now 276. There was something there, though. I'll come back to this. But things like this, you want to play it on the cheap, the miners, maybe that's a little better play. IREN makes money. Good. You need to. Yeah, I think so on IREN. Yeah, I heard about the NVIDIA thing, guys. Oh, Blush. You know, that was a new one. Yeah. Wasn't that an IPO that came out? Yeah, now underwater. Can't really do. You need give that 30 days, please. That's a nice IPO. I don't know. BitFi or BitFarms? BitFarms. Thank you. Who said that? CG. Thanks, man. I think it is BitFarms. Is it? Let's get a list together. Because if we're right about the cycle, then these should pop off, and I think that's a speculative long there. Somewhere around $1. That was 90 cents. Maybe that was the one I was looking at. I knew it was under $1. Hello. Gotcha, kids. This is perfect. 96 cents. The confirmation was 78. Now 120. I like that. All right, BitFarms. I think we're going to have to get a few more of these. I like what I see in IREN. I like CleanSpark. I like Mara. So maybe we should give these some love. Look at a few others. CFR. Is that Cipher? Or CIFR. Sorry. CIFR? Cipher Mining? They certainly bringing a comeback. And Cipher is this. It's this crazy crab pattern. You can't really see it. But down at the low, hop was 270 forever. Got as low as 51 cents. That's what's important. 490. Don't know. I'll go through. Let's get a big fat list together for Thursday on that. Someone's saying Bitcoin's rallying, as it should. Let's circle back here, guys. Bitcoin at 111. 111,000. All right, almost got there. Let me just kind of wrap up. This is the gist, okay? Enjoy the next couple of days. That's it. Enjoy your Labor Day Monday. Okay? Take this time. This time next week, in my opinion, everything starts Tuesday. Next Tuesday. I'm in it. Okay? I will not take a day off probably till Thanksgiving. After Monday. And so if that's the case, then what we should be lining up, things that look like this. Retracements. Minor stocks. Tech stocks on a retrace. I didn't even get into that today, like Meta, Microsoft. They all finished their daily setup. By Thursday, they'll have fat daily dots ready to go. So I'm watching this. Get all of that together. And people, please, look, get the software. All right? I'll give away one more. Next person to type in HPC 30 will get 30 days gold, 30 days software, 30 days in the Discord. Hit that link. Send your HPC TradingView username to hpc@sr-analyst.com and we'll set you up. Also, our session will not be Monday. It will be Wednesday the 3rd. Wednesday the 3rd, guys. A week from tomorrow, we're going to do our 2026, not on Monday. That's a major change. What's up, Gills LLC? You win. Send me a note on Discord, please. Again, there's the link. Gear up, guys. Really gear up. I think it's, we're at that point. It doesn't seem like a lot, but you have retraces. You've had progress all summer long. It's a little summer pause. Last week of August. It's a lot like last week of December. So just let it happen. Nasdaq's up 45 right now. No biggie. It was down, it's up. Probably breaks out from here. I'll leave you with this. Nasdaq, just so we know, going into Thursday, look, we do have a little bit of an up bias here. And let me show you this situation for Nasdaq on the hourly, guys. We've printed some ETH dots, electronic trading hours, here. So just kind of riding what's going on right here. And you have some prior patterns. So we're, again, consolidating summer gains for the year. Resistance is back here at 23.6, maybe 23.7. So just be aware of that. We're day 7 after last week's big surge, or was that 2 weeks ago? That was a week ago. That's Friday. We're just a pause here, but we're looking to push higher, and by Thursday we'll make that progress. Crypto, just let it be crypto, but let's not sleep on it. Let's look at some of these new opportunities, and then by Thursday we'll come back and we'll get into some miners and get into some of these other big cap crypto. All right, that's what I have for today, guys. Appreciate it. Thank you for the patience. We'll be back 12:30. Congratulations to the winners. You guys, you know where to hit me up over on harmonictrader.com, please. Become a member, basic member. And you have any questions, hit me up on the Discord as well. Okay? Great one, guys. Thanks so much. Have a great one. Catch you next time. Go get them.